To the Dope Teacher Podcast. Are you a student looking for a career path that's both fulfilling and in high demand? Look no further than the building trades. From carpentry to plumbing, electrician to HVAC technician, the building trades offer a wide variety of careers that are essential to the construction industry and provide a stable and lucrative career path. This podcast is dedicated to exposing students to the many opportunities available in the building trades. We'll be speaking with professionals from the industry, exploring different career paths, and offering advice and guidance for those interested in pursuing a career in the building trades. Whether you're a middle school or high school student exploring your options, or a college student looking for a new direction, this podcast is for you. So sit back, relax, and join us as we explore the exciting world of building trades.
My name is Daniella.
And my name is Amaya.
And welcome to the Dope Student Podcast. And today we're here with
Amaya, a.k.a. the Permit Plug.
And today we're going to be asking you some questions based off your job. Can you describe your experience with the permitting process in Philadelphia, and do you offer your services in other cities?
The permitting process is pretty long. So do I offer my services in other cities? We don't offer our services, but we do have partner permit expediters that is in other cities that we affiliate with that do offer the same type of services that we do, and we refer them out all the time. So we pretty much are your essential one-stop shop that if you're looking to do a permit in Atlanta or Miami or Detroit, you could come to us, and we always have one of our affiliate partners that can help you within that city and that state. As far as the permit process is concerned, the permit process is it could be lengthy depending on the type of permit that you're trying to do or your project, whether it's residential, commercial, whether it's if you're trying to open up a bar, open up a restaurant or daycare center, you know, the process can go long. But the typical process turnaround time is about 30 to 45 days, depending on, you know, if we don't get too many kickbacks during the architectural, you know, phase of it.
what strategies do you use to ensure timely approval of permits?
The strategies we use, we actually depending on the type of permit that we are submitting, it alerts us as what type of other paperwork that goes with it. So if we are doing something where it's the person want to build a rooftop deck, then we know we're going to need zoning first. So we make sure we understand the project, and by understanding the project, it allows us to know what other paperwork has to go with their project ahead of time. Right, in order to be able to, you know, help out with that project go fairly smoothly.
How do you stay up to date with changes in regulations and codes?
The City of Philadelphia emails that to us. Anytime there's a change, from the change in licensing and everything like that to the change in code, the City of Philadelphia sends us every trade person, from us as an expediter to a plumber or electrician. They email all of the tradespeople. All of the update newsletters is what's going on, and also depending on certain situations, they also give us like classes and things like that, and virtual classes that we can either take so we can actually learn more about the current codes and things like that. And some things apply to us and some things don't.
Can you give an example of a challenging project you worked on and how you navigated the permitting process?
A challenging project that we worked on, yes. I think one of the challenging projects that we worked on and how we got through it was, it would have to be like a zoning. It would definitely have to be a zoning situation. A project was already approved. This project was already approved. The building was already approved. However, during this project, they noticed that the side of the wall was buckling that they didn't notice beforehand. And that whole entire wall have to come down, period. So we didn't know at the time that you can have more than one permit on a project. We thought we had to go in and amend that project in order to address that side parting wall. That side exterior wall, and we didn't have to. We actually had to go in with a separate permit and actually address just that side wall, and it has its own separate inspections based on that side wall. So the way we worked around it is we just addressed it. We did a site visit to determine what needed to be done, and we worked with the contractor religiously. We worked with the architect religiously. We asked questions to the reviewer religiously. You know, so we were able to get that. They were able to continue to work under one permit, and we were able to obtain another permit in that challenging situation with the buckling that wall separately, still get it approved so they can get back on track.
What steps do you take to ensure that all necessary documents and paperwork are complete and accurate before submission?
There's a checklist. Once you go for submission with the City of Philadelphia, at the end of it, they ask you have certain required documents that you upload. And there's a checklist back there, and they tell us what's required. And then we upload whatever that is that the city deemed that's required. However, there are some things we just distinctively know. We know when a structural design criteria, let's just say a make safe, unsafe building, we already know that pictures are required. We already know that an engineer's seal report is required. We already know that seal plans are required. We already know that a waste hauler is required. So we have a checklist of what needs to be done depending on that project. And in this instance, a make safe, unsafe is one of those things that we use when we are being proactive with that project. But we just do a checklist. We go through the process, make sure that we have everything in a folder, and then we have to submit it in person, and we submit it in person. But when you work on so many projects, you kind of start to know what's going to be required ahead of time. So you submit it all the first time in the beginning to get less kickbacks from the city so we can get quicker to our approval of the permit.
How do you handle conflicts or delays in the permitting process?
How do we handle conflicts? We just deal with them. In the permit process, there's not really too much ignoring you can do. Okay, so what we do is we again try to stay in communication with our clients. We explain things to our clients. We put everything in our client portal, CRM, so we do that as well. So sometimes if we can't talk to the client, we back up what's going on in the process within our CRM, which is again our client permit portal. And but as far as the conflicts, we just kind of like deal with it. Whether it's me that's dealing with it or whether it's my client, my assistant that's dealing with it, we deal with that process. And just by talking to them and keeping open communication, but we also back it up inside of the permit CRM system as well. So in case the client did not get a chance to speak with us, they'll be able to look and read exactly what it is that, that we did.
Can you explain your process for communicating with clients and stakeholders throughout the permitting process?
Yeah, the same thing. We keep in contact with them through our CRM service, which is, again, our permit portal. So everything that we talk about in reference to the client based on our last conversation or whatever's going on, we update everything, we upload paperwork, and then we ask questions or we give them feedback on exactly what's going on with their permit process, from anything from holdups to documentation we may need from them. And then we also send them revision stuff, payments, the whole nine. So we do pretty much all of that through our client portal system if we can't get them on the phone. And once they get a message, every time we put a message into the portal system, it automatically emails the client, and the client will get an email to their phone, and then they will be able to see exactly what it is that happened or what's going on. They'll be able to go ahead and see that with no problem, and then they can answer back accordingly.
What steps do you take to mitigate risk and ensure compliance with local regulations?
Well, the risk is making sure that, everything we do, we have a contract on. So we have everything as far as the contract is concerned. So everything that we do, like I said, is in writing. We are a paperwork company, essentially, that this is how everyone is told what to do, So we pretty much set everything together, and we put everything through our paperwork and our policies and our procedures of what our duties are to our client and what our client duties are to us. And we just put that in writing and upload that again into the portal system. And we kind of force them to use the portal system because we're human. I mean, we're not going to always readily be able to answer them right away. But as we could, when we're updating them in the portal system, they emails them when they have a new notice to be able to kind of navigate through that for them. And they can ask questions there too, what we can essentially answer for them.
How do you work with other professionals involved in a project, such as architects or contractors?
Well, we usually introduce ourselves to the architects usually the architects. We usually introduce ourselves to the architects, let them know that we have been hired to assist them during this process, and all communications and information and paperwork has to be emailed to us. And then we're the ones that's going to be pretty much that liaison and that person that we're going to work back and forth until we get to the end of the project of what we need, pretty much. The contractors, if we need to, then we do that as well. So at the end of the day, one of the requirements that we have is we require to have all the documentation from everybody. So we require to have contact information for the contractor. We require information contact for the owner. We require information contact for the architect as well. So this way, and the engineer as well. This way, so in case we have any problems whatsoever, we know exactly who we're going to be dealing with. We know we don't have to go through this person to get through here or that person to get through. We can actually deal with the people directly and more efficiently, so we can go ahead and get through our permit, to the permit process.
How do you work with other Oh, my bad. Can you discuss a successful project you worked on and your role securing the necessary permits for it?
Yeah, a permit that we worked on and it was successful. I would say our zonings, for the most part, a lot of the zonings that we do are by right zonings. So our zonings with turning one of our clients' building into a gym. So that was like really cool. We turned one of our clients' building into a juice bar. That was pretty cool. We turned one of our clients' building, like I said, into a nightclub. We did that. We turned one of our client buildings into a selfie content space. We did a lot. Like I said, we do a lot of multi-level conversions. I would say that's enough.
Can you tell us more about your general contractor classes?
Right. So the general contractors classes, we actually have one coming up this Saturday on the 22nd. So general contractors classes is really, really important. It's my baby. I started that a few years back because I've noticed that the lack of contractors being licensed. They're working on my clients' projects and they're not licensed. They weren't giving my clients their correct information in terms of their name, their level of work or experience. So they was working with an expired or a suspended contractor license, and it didn't make sense to me. You know, my clients were stuck when the project got messed up. They didn't have anybody to rely on. They would get into a situation with the contractor, and the contractor would pull a permit from the project or leave them hanging. So I wanted to give the power back to my investors, to my homeowners, to my clients. So I started to control your own project, you become your own contractor. So essentially, you become your own contractor, and then you take that being your own contractor, and you're the one that control the project. Your name is on that license. Your name is on that house. Your name is on that HVAC permit. Okay, so in case you have any situation with that contractor, you can be like, bye, because this your project. They can't take nothing from you. You know, you have to have essentially your separate contract to sue them. But outside of that, they can no longer they can no longer stop your project. They can no longer pull their permits off your project and, mess you up in that type of way. So in order to have your own, in order to control your project, you got to control the permits. You can't control the project unless you control the permits. And being a contractor helps you control the permits, which essentially controls the project. So I advocate for that, and I help my clients get licensed to be a licensed general contractor, as well as get OSHA 30 certification.
Okay, so this is your time to tell the audience and everyone watching how to contact you and where to get in touch with you.
Absolutely. So you can follow us on AKA The Permit Plug. You can put us in The Permit Plug right on Google. It'll come up. We have our own podcast, actually. So we have our own podcast at The Permit Plug. You can find us on thepermitplug.com, or specifically follow us on IG. I'm serious. Follow us on IG at Philly Permit Expediters on IG. So make sure you follow us. I'm quite sure some people on there y'all gonna know, because we work with a lot of clients and that kind of thing. So that's how you guys can get in contact with us. On my street name, I guess they would say, is The Permit Plug. No one calls me Paulette, but in case, I'm Paulette. And check us out. We definitely will, so you can get a better understanding of what we do and how we can assist with everyone and everything.
Okay, so thanks for watching another video of the Dope Student Podcast. Bye.